welcome you guys to Bulletproof Immunity. I'm glad there's so many people here tonight. I always laugh when this happens because some of these are so important that why would you want to miss this when this could actually change your life and bolster your immune system so you don't get sick and you keep your family healthy. But priorities, right? It's all about priorities. What's more important? Life gets busy, but this is why I decided to record tonight, which we don't usually do, because this is so important that I think everybody needs to hear this. So I want to start off by asking you guys a question. When was the last time you felt you're like just absolutely resilient, energetic, like you could hit me with anything and you're like, I got this? Unfortunately, this doesn't happen very often, but that is how we should be. We should be able to deal with anything, adapt to anything, and knock it all out. But unfortunately, most people don't feel that way and haven't felt that way in many, many years. They feel weak, they feel sick, they feel scared. And why is that? I mean, look at our lifestyle. Why do you think most people aren't here right now? They're so stressed taking their kids to this and this and this and this, and they have this to do and they have this to do and they have this to do, that they're making the wrong things the priority. No, I'm not saying we have life, we have things to do. I get that. But chaos is what our life looks like. I read something yesterday. It says we get more screen time than sleep. That hit me a little bit. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I thought maybe we do. I'm thinking back to my habits going, maybe we do. Yeah. Because it's easy to get stuck in those things. And you think that's good for our brain? Absolutely not. You think it's good for our immune system? Absolutely not. Do we eat perfectly? No. Do we move like we're supposed to? No. Are we full of toxins and chaos and stress? Yes. No wonder nobody can remember the last time they felt resilient and energetic and bring it on. But I will tell you, when I live the 5 essentials, that's how I look at it. I say, bring it on, I'm not scared. Just like in 2020, did we shut our doors? No. Did we put masks on? No. Did we change anything? No. And when people came in here scared, saying, what am I supposed to do? I said, remember those 5 things I've been teaching you for the last 10 years? Just keep doing them. And if you haven't been doing them, start now. And guess what? You won't live in fear because you know that your body was designed to heal and be healthy. And tonight is really all about that. I want to go through some things that we can do, how we can be healthy. I'm going to answer some questions. I went through my PowerPoint last night and I deleted a whole bunch of stuff because I'm like, I could sit there and teach you about the immune system, but man, is that boring. Do you think like calling your friends and talking about beta cells and T killer cells and natural killer cells, you think it's really going to move the needle? You think it's going to be that impressive that you're going to make these big changes in your life? No. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But if you guys do have specific questions, like I know you do, ask them when we get to a point that you think is proper, okay? Because I do want to answer any questions that you guys might have. But understand that we are on a mission to change healthcare because we know that healthcare is not really changing. What does healthcare look like? Do nothing for your health and then get sick and then go to a doctor and take pills and then hope somebody else pays your bill and go broke doing so. And you're still unhealthy, but now you have more medication, more toxins, and less money in your pocket. So instead of that, let's unplug from that model of health and plug into a new one. And one of my big goals for you guys tonight is to think differently when it comes to sickness and disease and viruses. Now, we've been living in this lifestyle in the United States under what we call the medical model for many, many years. And do you guys know who we get our information from? Like who's giving out the information about health? Is it your doctors?
Robert Kennedy.
Robert Kennedy Jr., yes. Well, hopefully now he's getting better information out there. But we've been really focused on the CDC. The CDC, since 1980, when it was renamed the Centers of Disease Control, and then again in 1992, and Prevention, that's kind of funny, they're the ones that have been telling and giving us guidelines on how to be healthy. Well, they said, I want to say maybe not to be healthy. What were you going to say?
To boss us around and make us think that they're the be-all and end-all.
Of health. It is. And, it's not good what's going on inside the CDC, and a lot of it's finally coming out. I've been talking about it for years. I've known about it for years. There are a lot of conflicts of interest inside. In fact, it was 1983 when the CDC became authorized to accept gifts from corporations and politicians. What? Yeah, what could go wrong with that, right? Authorized. So do you think there's conflicts of interest inside of the CDC? 1,000%. And in fact, over the last 10, 15 years, it's basically become a vaccine manufacturer. And again, give them gifts, push my stuff along. It's sad and it's scary, and I'm not here to talk about vaccines all night tonight because that's not what this workshop is. I am going to talk a little bit about it, but I want you guys hear this information and understand I'm all about the truth, and that's all I care about because the truth never changes. The truth is always going to be the truth, which is why when I teach you stuff, it's probably the same thing. This gal here, Terry, she's been coming to me since 2004 when I opened 21 years ago, and I've been saying the same thing for 21 years, and you keep coming to these workshops because you know it's the truth. It's never going to change, but you need to hear it over and over again because it's so easy to be misguided when you leave this office from people that are trying to sell you stuff.
Which is all the time. Oh, wait. I've got a big gripe.
Oh, what's the gripe? Go ahead.
My gripe is TV advertising.
Mm-hmm. I want that to go away. In 1997 is when they started to allow it.
That's horrible.
Mm-hmm. And you know there's only 2 countries that allow it?
Who else?
New Zealand. Those are the only 2 countries that allow direct-to-consumer advertising by pharmaceutical companies. That I hope that that's going to go away here soon. I'm hoping that that's something that they recognize as a bad thing. You shouldn't ask your doctor if this is right for you, right? Yeah. But under the CDC's direction, let's look at this. This has a lot to do with children. One of the highest infant mortality rates of all industrialized nations under the CDC's direction. Almost half of our children have at least one chronic disease diagnosis. Pediatric cancer is a leading cause of death outside of accidents. 1 in 7 children are on an antipsychotic medication. 1 in 6 are learning disabled, 1 in 12 with asthma, 1 in 5 with an emotional, mental, and behavioral disorder. I think it's more than that, especially since all the phones have come out. 1 in 5 with obesity, 1 in 13 with allergies, 1 in 34 with autism. When we were kids and we were in school, how many people did you know that had autism? None. What's changed? You said 1? No. Diet's gotten worse. You know, people like adults would be like, well, I ate it and I'm fine, so I can give it to my kids. But look at the ingredients. The ingredients are completely different than what they were before. McDonald's French fries used to be fried in tallow, not anymore. So again, just because you did it doesn't mean they did it. Same with vaccines, but I'm going to get into that here in a second. But what have they done a really good job of? They've done a very good job of creating fear. And we've created a generation that's been living in fear and are scared of everything. And they don't realize that their body can heal of things. They don't realize that you are strong, you are self-healing, you are a self-healing being. They think that you are broken, you are sick, you are weak, you need medications, you need doctors that know these big words and just do what they say and you're going to be healthy. But we've already just shown you where that's gotten us. I don't want anybody in my office to ever live in fear. I want to empower you to know the truth and to walk around basically like you own the place. I got this. I want you to be resilient. I want you to be energetic and feel like you can handle anything. And then once you feel like that, I want you to go tell everybody else you know. Because when you know the truth and you don't spread the truth, that's as bad as not knowing the truth in the first place. You got to tell people. Now, this is a great example of fear. In 1958, James has the measles, so I invited him and his mother to come over, so hopefully you can get it and get the natural immunity. Raise your hands if you ever did that. I did that. My neighbor had chicken pox. My parents said, go and play with him. Why? Because I want chicken pox so that my body can react to it and create lifetime immunity from it. But now, oh my God, I know he's your best friend, but he's not vaccinated, so playing with him could kill us all. How ridiculous does that sound, right? I used to show a video from the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch, the kids get the measles. They get to stay home from school. And Peter's like, this is the best. Nobody's freaking out. Nobody's scared. Nobody's like, oh, we're going to die. When did that mindset change about the measles? When the measles vaccine came about. When did it happen with the chicken pox? When the chicken pox vaccine came out. Okay? It's scare tactics. Okay, do people die of these things? Yes, people die of everything. That doesn't mean we need to inject our bodies with chemicals and call it health. And we don't need to scare people or shame people. Oh my God, the last 5 years, right? In 2021, when everybody was getting vaccinated, the people that were not vaccinated were shamed, fired from their jobs. And now we look back going, oh, we probably should have done that. Have any of your friends ever apologized to you for being jerks about that? No. Has anybody gotten rehired? No. Because it's just swept under the rug and let's just keep moving. That's a whole nother workshop I'm not going to get into because that's pretty frustrating. I feel bad, but I'm not a I told you so kind of person. I don't care. I don't need somebody to tell me you were right. But I kind of want to tell them, dude, I've been telling you the same thing. I saw it all on the wall, and it all happened like I said it was going to happen. So would we prefer natural immunity or artificial immunity? Of course, natural immunity. So the one big thing about vaccines and viruses, I want you to understand. How do you get a virus? How does it get into your body?
Usually airborne.
Airborne. So that means it's either going here or here. So it's getting, or into our eyes. So it's getting into our nasal passage ear. It can get it that way into a mucous membrane. When that happens, you have one type of immune response that will then take that, kill it, and remember it. So if it ever comes back, you don't even know it because we are now immune to it because we're going to kill it before it even gets past the bouncer. Right? Do those go up your nose? Where do they go? Into your skin. How do viruses get into your skin? They do not. So they go into your muscle through this. That's going to create a completely different type of immune response. Your skin won't get the virus. But here's what's very interesting. So what do? We all know. Again, logic would say if I gave you a weakened version of that virus and we inject it into your body and your body recognizes it, it's going to build up immunity just like it was naturally, right? That makes sense. Problem is, it's not lifetime immunity when you inject because of the different type of response. So what do you need then? Another one, and another. Those are called boosters. Okay? So if you have not had an MMR in the last 5 years, do you think you can get the measles? Yep. Yeah. When's the last time you guys had your boosters? Nope. Why not? Because we don't go to school anymore. Well, what the heck does that have to do with anything? But somehow they say, if you don't do this, you can't go to public school. BS. Just so you know. Okay? So natural immunity versus artificial immunity. Which one's better? Obviously, the natural. Now, what's interesting is when they do those injections for the vaccine, they realized that if they just gave you weakened or dead viruses, the body didn't really do much with it. It didn't create enough of an inflammatory response there. So what did they do? They had to add heavy metals and toxins. Formaldehyde, they put aluminum in these, cadmium, and they inject it. Why'd they do that? To cause the your immune system to react. Now it's reacting there, and now it's causing issues. But does that aluminum come out of your body? No. So again, in theory, I get what they were trying to do, but did they do a very good job of executing? No. So would you trust anybody that with any advice if they had zero repercussion? If I have no liability to what I said, would you trust me? No. Pharmaceutical companies have no liability for damages. Did you guys know that, first of all? Yeah, some of you yes, some of you no. When I found this out, I was completely, absolutely disturbed. Who in the hell thinks that's a good idea? Well, they said, well, some kids are going to get hurt doing this, but it's for the greater good. Wow. So if your child is 18 months old and he gets the MMR shot and he was perfectly normal, and all of a sudden the day after he won't even look at you in the eye and he never speaks again for the rest of his life, you have no repercussions. There's nothing you could do about it. Does that make your blood boil a little bit? I'm upset. That's one of my number one reasons I'm not going to vaccinate my children. My children have never had shots. Because why would I trust them? if they can't even be sued if they did something wrong. Sorry, no. And you know what's interesting? When that law was put into place, the schedule for vaccines tripled. It's got quiet in here.
Money.
Isn't that, I mean, are we all thinking the same thing? Like, that's pretty disturbing. And these are the people that are telling you that this is good for your child. What really bothers me is I'll have patients come here and they'll say, I had to get the shot. Why? They said I had to. I said, oh, did they force you? Did they lock you in the room? No, but they said I couldn't go to school. These doctors are holding that still over these parents' heads, and they are guilting them and shaming these parents into doing something that I don't think should be done. But if you guys know me well enough, and I know some of you do, I'm never going to tell you, do it or don't do it. That's not my job. And I'm also never going to judge you if you did do it. What I always tell my patients is, do your own research. Don't do anything just because they said you had to. This is why it was so crazy to see how many people were doing the COVID shot when there was zero research on it. Everybody's like, I blind trust? No liability? No.
Badgering.
What's that? Badgering? Oh, it's awful. Awful what they were doing. Now, what about the flu shot? That must be fine and safe, right? Because it's been around for years. Get your flu shot because the flu's coming. First of all, is there such a thing as a flu season? No, it's all the time. The flu season cracks me up. And again, I used to think this because we were told flu season, right? And everybody's going to get the flu. The flu doesn't migrate north for the winter or south for the winter. It doesn't go anywhere. It's always here. Why is it more prevalent during the colder months? Well, we tank our immune system. How do we do that? We're outside less, so less vitamin D, which boosts our immune system. More stress during those next 3 months of holidays. And we also eat like crap in the next 3 months, right? Sugar, pastry, all the stuff we shouldn't eat, but it's just a treat. Yeah, one day turns into 3 months of eating like junk. So we eat sugar, no vitamin D, extra stress. What does that do to your immune system? It tanks it. So you know what's going to fix that? Is taking the flu shot. That's going to fix everything. Because God forbid you don't do things that are bad for you. Right? I want you to be able to keep doing and indulging. If you just do this shot, you're not going to get the flu. Which people that have gotten the flu shot, first of all, they usually get the flu anyway, right? Yeah. But have you ever read the ingredients of a flu shot? Probably not. If you've been to this workshop, maybe yes. But take a look at this. There's so much stuff on here. I don't know what to read here. Formaldehyde, thimerosal, which is mercury. It's also propagated. These viruses were propagated in embryonated chicken eggs that were then inactivated by formaldehyde. Okay. All that's going in, you guys. Flu shot. Give me 2, please. Right? I don't know why this is not showing everything here. This says there have been no controlled trials showing and demonstrating a decrease in influenza disease after the vaccination with Fluvial. They say right on it that it's full of crap, and they're full of crap. But we are supposed to do that. Does that make sense? I had a patient once that was in the hospital. She got 4 flu shots in 3 days. For some reason, they thought that was the most important thing about her stay. I might know why. Because your doctors get kickbacks and bonuses. Did you guys know that? One of the reasons why your doctor is so adamant that your child or you are getting your flu shots and all their vaccines right on time is they are getting bonuses. This is from Anthem. Now, this was the COVID-19 incentive program, but I know that there are other programs. But look at this. If you can qualify for a bonus, if 75% of your Anthem members are vaccinated, you get $125 bonus per member. So when you say no thanks, they get pissy and they get mad. You know why? Because you're messing with their money. That is so disturbing. Everything I've talked about is making my blood boil. That's not what this whole workshop was about. I know. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to decrease my immune system. So instead of looking outside for help, let's look inside for help. This is where we're going to go into the science of it for one slide. Okay, I'm not going any deeper than this because, again, I tried to find a video yesterday. I was like, I usually find those like cartoony videos that make things like super simple. They're all 15 minutes long, and the first 3 words are macrophage and I was like, oh my God, no, this is too complicated. Basically, we have our immune system is it's our skin, it's our lungs, and then it's our gut, it's our liver, it's our white blood cells. Now we can go into neutrophils and B cells and T cells, but we're not going to. White blood cells, you guys have heard of white blood cells before. White blood cells attack antigens. The antigen? That's right. It sounds wrong now. Germs, okay? Yes, you can have all the fun things, but 70% of your immune system actually is in your gut. Did you guys know that? Yeah. You have over 2.5 pounds of bacteria that live in your gut. In your gut, that bacteria actually interacts with the outside world, because if you think about your digestive system starting here and ending here, it's just a hose. It's never actually inside your body. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Again, that's that's another workshop we might have coming up. But that bacteria interacts with it, and it will actually tell it, hey, we need more white blood cells down here. So your gut has a lot to do with your immune system. But what commands everything is your nervous system. So this is where chiropractic would come in. If your nervous system is functioning properly, it's going to be able to send the right signals to the right places at the right time to get the right response. If we have interference, then we have misguided information. It's not going to be functioning as well as it should. And you might get the wrong response, or an over response, or an under response, or no response. We don't want any of those things. Well, I just told you about this. Okay. Okay, but here, let's see. If 70% of our immune system is housed in our gut, and it's all that bacteria, that good bacteria lives in our gut, when you are not feeling well, it's called a kid pulling at his ear. What do we do? We run to, we got to go to the ENT or the pediatrician. They're going to look in the ear. No matter what, that ear is going to be a little bit of pink because he doesn't feel good. Might be rubbing at it. Maybe he's got a fever. What are they going to say he has? Ear infection, because, yeah, of course. And, well, before we're going to do tubes, what are we going to give them? Antibiotics. So that's like having one, like, robbery in the middle of Tokyo, and let's just bomb the whole thing just to kill that one bad guy. Ridiculously bad idea, right? Maybe a bad analogy also. But it kills all the bacteria. It's not going to say, I found the one bad guy, I'm going to kill him. It's going to kill all the good and all the bad bacteria. Well, if we needed that bacteria as part of our immune system and we just wiped it out, what's going to happen? The virus, the bacteria is going to overgrow again. And what grows back faster, the bad bacteria or the good bacteria? It's going to be the bad. Have you ever given your kid an antibiotic or heard of somebody doing this, and then they had their ear infection, it goes away, they stop, and then a week later, right back, and then right back, and then right back, and now they need, like Terry's been saying, tubes in their ears, because that's going to fix everything, because God designed the ear wrong. They should have had tubes in there when they were born, right? Because that makes sense, right? So again, we need to look at this differently. And there are 2 paradigms we're going to talk about here. There's 2 ways we could think about health, and this is probably my most important thing I want my patients to understand here tonight. There's 2 ways we can think about health and quote-unquote sickness. And I always do this because I don't say the word sick, because I'm not sick. Okay, we don't get sick. We express symptoms. Very, very different. But how did we get to where we are now? Our whole medical healthcare system is based on what's called the germ theory of disease. Have you guys heard of the germ theory before? Can anybody? Okay, here's a winner. Here's a question. Who is the father of the germ theory? T-shirt. She wins a T-shirt. She said Pasteur. Oh, wow. That's very good. She's writing it down. That was very impressive, Susie. I'm very impressed. So he created what's called the germ theory of disease between 1860 and 1864. This is where he did all these experiments, and he basically said there are tiny microorganisms that are in our environment that will invade our body and cause us to get sick. We now know them as bacteria and viruses. Okay? Makes a lot of sense, right? I wouldn't want to put bad bacteria in my mouth because I'm going to get sick, right? So that is really the viewpoint that he focused on the whole time, and that was the birth of the medical community. Because if they could find antibiotics that would kill that bacteria, well, now if we give that person the antibiotic, it's going to kill the bad bacteria, and that person's not going to have it anymore. Again, logic. It makes sense. It's logical. But the flaw in that is, if you have a family of 4 that live in the same house, eat the same food, why does one kid get sick and the other one didn't? Because if the bacteria got them sick and we're all covered in bacteria, the whole family would have gotten sick at the same time. Because I'll tell you right now, if the germ theory of disease was true, we'd all be dead by now. So how do we explain that?
The bug changes.
Oh, the bug changes. Oh, the bug said, I like him and not her?
No, the bug itself mutates.
It can mutate. Well, if you take all the antibiotics, it'll eventually mutate so it can keep going after you.
We've had the COVID bug for how many thousand years on this planet?
Well, at least in China. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's really been around.
Sure. Sure. I'm sure it has. It's a virus. Viruses always are adapting to their environment just like we do. So what it comes down to is that one child that quote unquote got sick, their immune system was not strong enough to fight off that virus. Therefore, it started to express symptoms instead of taking over itself. Does that make sense? Because if my immune system is perfect, my body's all of our bodies, we're fighting right now. There's bacteria in here. There's viruses in here. You can't escape it. But if our immune system's strong, we're never even notice it. But if we are doing bad things to our body, being weak, sugar, stress, all the things, what's going to happen? Our immune system will be depressed, and now the virus has an opportunity to come in, replicate, and cause problems. This is what's called the terrain theory. The terrain theory is it's more about the host than it is about the bug. So, I mean, very simple. Don't clean the tank for 2 months. It's going to look gross and smell bad. Do you think that fish is going to be healthy? There's 0% chance of that happening. It's going to get ick. It's going to get all these different problems. And you could go and get all the chemicals you want to change all of the pH and all this stuff and put the stuff and coat that fish. Or you can put that fish into another tank with fresh water, all clean. Eventually, what's going to happen to that fish? It's going to heal again. What got that fish sick was its environment. I have a really good analogy here. So let's imagine we're all on a bus. Okay, we're driving down the road, and if you look out to the left, I'm going to be your tour guide. If we look out that's the right side. If we look out the right side of the bus, you'll see green pastures, golf courses, everything. Look how beautiful green that is. I do that when I drive down. I see a golf course. I'm like, that's a par 5. I hit that. You can ask my wife. I unfortunately do that. Gorgeous green park, right? Birds are chirping. Everything's happening. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Now, if you look out the left side of the bus, guys, you'll see the garbage dump. Now, what do you see around the garbage dump? Well, we see trash everywhere. We see scavengers. We see flies. We see vultures. We see rodents and rats running around. Gross. Okay. Well, why aren't they over there? What is there for them to eat? Nothing. So they're going where the food is. So you know what we could do is we could go over here and we could shoot them all. Shoot the birds, shoot the rodents, kill all the flies. What's going to happen in a week? New ones are going to come back. Why? Because there's still stuff to scavenge. There's still food. There's still trash everywhere. Hello. How do we get rid of these rodents? How do we get rid of the vultures? We can't just keep killing them. What do we need to do? Clean up the trash. We need to clean up the trash. We need to clean up the environment. And that's what we do with the 5 essentials. We go clean up the trash, get rid of them so that it could be pretty and green on the other side of the road. Makes sense, doesn't it? It's almost like, wow, that's so simple. It's all about the host. This is called, again, the terrain theory. not the germ theory. So if we focus on the host, we can create strength and resilience. Now, this is a principle that's very important that I want you guys to write down. Your body is always doing the right thing at the right time. Please, everybody, write that down. Because when you read that, you own it and you understand it, things will be very different for you from a health point of view. Instead of saying, what's wrong with me? You're going to say, why is my body doing this? What's causing that? Your body's always doing the right thing at the right time. What we need to do is stop interfering with the body's processes. All right, so think about this. We have a kid who's got a fever. Does that kid feel good? He feels miserable. You call up your pediatrician. What are they going to tell you to give him? Maybe not anymore. Nah. Something, a fever reducer. It could be Tylenol, it could be Motrin. They're going to say, bring that fever down. Why are we bringing the fever down? Because your baby is uncomfortable and miserable. Because we are a society of comfort. If we don't feel good, we become babies and need to be feeling good. So we're going to do whatever we can to feel good. And I get it. I want to feel good. I don't like having a fever. I feel like crap. We all do. But if our body's always doing the right thing at the right time, and we think about it through that lens, now we say, well, why do I have the fever? What is the fever? Why is my body doing this? And you go, well, my body's really, really, really smart, and it's brilliant, and it knows what it's doing. So if I trust it, I'm going to let this ride. Because what it means is my body's been infected by something, and my body is doing the right thing. So what it's going to do is it's going to crank up that thermostat, create fever, raise the temperature in my body, creating an environment that's no longer basically comfortable for that bacteria or virus. It's going to start to weaken as our immune system takes it over. And once everything gets back under control, what's the fever going to do? It's going to come back down. When? When the body wants it to. But what happens if we have a fever and we take Tylenol or Motrin to bring the fever down artificially? We're actually allowing that bacteria or virus to replicate because we're keeping it comfortable for them too. So maybe we have to go through a little bit of being uncomfortable to get through it. I can tell you right now, my 3 children have had fevers. Guess how many times they've had any kind of medication for it? 0. Never. Why? Because I live by that rule. My body's always doing the right thing at the right time. My daughter throws up sometimes. If you're throwing up, what's your body doing? It's getting rid of something. It's smarter than us. It's smarter than your doctor. And when you start to listen to it, things are going to be different for you. And again, growing up in the medical model, myself, it was always, which drug do I need to take? I need to feel better now. Which pill is it that's going to fix my problems? When I went to chiropractic school, that's when things changed. And it wasn't until a couple of years into practice when I started really seeing changes in my patients and I started trusting my own body even more, and I've never looked back. There's 0 medication in my house because it's not an option. It's just not an option. Why would I want to do that?
I have a question.
Sure.
Isn't a lot of this, the things bring the fever down, it's a convenience issue. We
Yep.
don't have time.
To miss work and to stay home with your kid. It's a convenience issue and it's a comfort issue. Because trust me, I felt like such crap sometimes where I'm like, oh man, I'd like to feel better right now. But I do know if I were to take something, it's just going to extend it, so I'm not going to. No pain, no gain kind of thing. But again, it's all about faith and trust in our body, knowing what it's doing. But what are allergies? Allergies are actually when your immune system goes into overreaction by something that's pretty normal, like pollen. Pollen is everywhere. Dust, everywhere. Why do we overreact to it? It's uncomfortable. This is like your smoke alarm going off because you burned some toast. It's a false alarm, right? But it's still going off. It's still happening. A lot of times It has a lot to do with eating poorly, causing extra inflammation in our body. And when you cause extra inflammation in our body, we get things like leaky gut syndrome. Have you guys heard of leaky gut syndrome? Yeah, inflammation in the gut. That would lead to food particles going into your body and bloodstream, which causes your immune system to be on high alert at all times, which can lead to, the first sign is allergies. And the last part of that would be autoimmune diseases. To answer your question, Susie, yes, leaky gut is what leads to autoimmune diseases. Because again, if our body's always doing the right thing at the right time, would it ever try to harm itself? Your body would never harm itself. These are a cascade of reactions that have been happening, probably because we did it to ourselves. Didn't know we were doing it. But the good news is you can heal from these things if you understand what they are. And they're not a lack of medication that you have type 1 diabetes or Hashimoto's. That's probably the most popular autoimmune disease out there right now. It's something that has happened to our environment when we were younger that's allowed this to happen, and we need to take great care in ourselves to be able to reverse these problems. So what kind of things can we do to help reverse our allergies, stop giving our body allergens? And what are the most common allergens? I say that the food we eat would be gluten, dairy, and soy, because those are the ones that inflame the gut, cause our gut to open up, become more porous, and let food particles through, which leads to the allergies, the autoimmune reactions.
Where does sugar fit in there?
Sugar is right there also. It's not an allergy, but it's an inflammatory, 100%.
So it just helps feed.
Oh, it feeds all the bad bacteria and all the bad things that are in there, and it just yeast causes more problems, 100%. We can support the gut lining with things like glutamine, probiotics, bone broth. It's got a lot of collagen in it, which soothes inflammatory guts. And of course, getting adjusted, because if your nervous system is interfered with, we might get the wrong types of reactions from your immune system. And again, the problem here is that, again, we're running for short-term relief instead of long-term consequences. I mean, most meds, what do? They suppress symptoms. Now, are symptoms good or bad? They're good. Why are they good? I didn't ask if they felt good, right? I said, are they good or bad? They are good because it's a sign that your body is doing the right thing at the right time. Because if I got a virus and I got bacteria and I had no fever and I felt good, I'd have a problem with that because I'd probably be dead in a couple hours because my body's not fighting at all. So again, we don't get sick in my office, we express symptoms. So if you call me and say, I'm sick, I'm like, well, you dead? No, we're not sick, we're not dead. See, that's my girl right here. She knows. If anybody ever says I'm sick, I say, no. I'm sick means I'm dying. Okay, I'm not fighting anymore. I've trained you to say I'm fighting something. Why? Because our brain's going to believe what we say. I think I'm fighting something sounds a lot better than I'm sick.
Or I'm catching.
I'm fixing to catch a cold. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. No, let's not do that. That's a Southern thing. You can ask my kids, what's the 4-letter word you're not allowed to say in my house? Sick. There's others, but sick is sick has always been at the top of the list. My kids are older now, so there's more. Over-the-counter medications and antihistamines like NSAIDs, they block your natural ability and defenses. So they actually reduce, like we said earlier, fever, inflammation, and mucus. Steroids and immunosuppressants can leave you vulnerable to long-term issues and long-term consequences of decreased immune system. And the side effects just keep going. So basically, the whole point of this slide is drugs are bad. Okay? Okay. You got it down. So here's the other one I like to live by, the other principle. The body needs no help. It just needs no interference. You do not need medications to be healthy. You do not need vaccinations to be healthy. You do not need doctors to be healthy. You just need no interference. I'm a doctor. You don't need me unless you interfered, which therefore all I do is remove the interference. Do I heal you of anything? No. I do not fix anything. I do not heal you of anything. I would never say I did. My one job is to remove interference that's been blocking your body from healing itself. So remember that one. Our body needs no help. It just needs no interference. So where we get interference, where are the sources of interference? These are the 5 essentials or the 5 pillars of health that we talk about here at the office. Each one of these could be a source of health or deficiency or toxicity. If any of these are being interfered with in a proper or improper manner, it's going to lead to deficiency, toxicity, and problems. So chiropractic, we talk about this all the time, subluxations. If a subluxation is present, that means there's pressure on a nerve. How can wherever that nerve go function properly? It's not going to. I know a lot of patients come here because my neck and my back, yeah, I get all that. But what am I really doing? What Dr. Sidney and I are really doing is we're finding the subluxations, removing the pressure so your body can heal the way it's supposed to. Does your back feel better sometimes? Yeah. We want you to feel better. We do. But our number one goal is for you to heal better. Okay? Nutrition. If you eat McDonald's all the time, do you think you're giving your body the nutrients it needs to properly function? No. How the heck can you be healthy then? How can your immune system be functioning well? It won't. So we need to give our proper nutrition. What about mindset? This is a big one for you guys tonight. If now we understand our body's always doing the right thing at the right time, next time you don't feel well, instead of going, what drug do I need? You're going to go, let me listen to my body. What is it telling me? It's telling me I need to go to the bathroom. Okay, great. Why? What's it doing? Oh, that didn't feel very good. But you know what it's doing? It's getting rid of something. Good. Oh, I'm throwing up. Let it happen. I have a fever. Awesome. Okay, stay home, get your rest, get adjusted, all the things you need to do, but don't freak out. There's always a reason. Oxygen and exercise. We need to move. We need to have oxygen to our cells in order for us to heal, and we need to minimize our toxins. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through each of these essentials quickly and go through some of the big players that cause the interference and what we can do to reverse it. So sugar in the immune system. There we go. I think you knew my slide was coming. Anybody hungry? Don't look at this slide then, right? That donut looks kind of good. But the estimates from the government survey said that the average American consumes 152 pounds of sugar every year and 133 pounds of white flour, which converts into sugar. So we're getting basically, 285 pounds of sugar every year. Can our body process this? Can it process sugar? Yes. Can it process that amount of sugar? Oh my God, no. No wonder everybody is pre-diabetic and type 2 diabetic because we are eating this and we don't even realize we're eating that much. Why? Because everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Yeah. What did you have for lunch today? I had a sandwich. What did you have for dinner? I had pasta. What did you have for breakfast? Orange juice and a bagel. The amount of sugar that you just consumed is enough for most people for a week. But you just keep doing it because you know what? I still look good. I still feel fine. And then one day, all of a sudden, you're type 2 diabetic. You're like, how'd that happen? Well, I don't know how it happened, but here's your drugs. Mm-hmm. That's the answer. Not, hey, maybe you should change your diet. Well, how do I do that? I don't know. Look it up. I had a patient who went to a doctor once, and that's what they said. I was talking to Mallory today. I told her that your doctor has 0 classes in nutrition in med school. Then is Mallory up here? She said, well, then how can they give nutrition advice? I said, have they ever? He said, well, eat right and exercise. How do I do that? They don't know.
Do this diet.
Do this diet, try this diet, Mediterranean diet. That's the one they go to right now, which is great. What were you going to say, Cheryl?
I was just going to say that I deal with the same thing at work when people come in and they're like, my vet wants my dog to go on prescription food. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with your dog?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, he's got pancreatitis. And they want to put him on the prescription food, which has no medicine in it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why it's full of crap.
Yep.
So I take them over to another food, and I'm like, this has real meat, this has real vegetables, and this will help. And low in fat for the pancreatitis. And then they come back to me and they're like, thank you, you saved me. You don't know how many thousands of dollars. And the vets don't get nutritional treatment.
No, because unfortunately, and I have a friend that's a vet, and I love him because he's always honest with me, but vets are medical doctors. They have the exact same training. Why do you think your dogs are getting vaccinated every time they go? Do they really need that? Probably not. This is a dog expert right here. She says no. I say I listen. Yeah. Like I just got a picture a few minutes ago that my dog ran through a rose bush and ripped her ear.
Ooh.
I'm like, great, and there's blood everywhere. My wife's freaking out. What do we put on it? Dr. Sidney told me. Colloidal silver.
Yes.
I'm not running to the vet. I'm not doing that because what are they going to do? Well, let's talk about shots first. I'm like, no. And the ear bleeds a lot. This is Georgie figured this out. She's like, I read it. It says the ear bleeds a lot. So now my dog's sitting at home with gauze here, wrapped in an ace bandage, like, yeah, poor dog. But again, I don't want to go the medical route because I don't want to give my dog drugs. So why would I'm not going unless I have to. So what we want to do now is we want to eat to activate our immune system, not to suppress our immune system. And this was something new for me. This is kind of cool. Eat 7 colors a day because each color represents a different antioxidant. Pretty cool. I had never heard that. But my salads are usually very colorful. It's funny, I make really nice salads. My wife takes a picture. I'm like, what are you doing with that? She goes, people need to see, and then it never goes anywhere. Still on her phone. And I'm like, I don't need to show people what I'm eating, but whatever, okay. Start with more protein. We're going to get good, healthy protein in there. And of course, we need to cut out seed oils. You want heart disease quickly? Just keep eating seed oils. Fried foods, bad fats. And you guys have been to enough of these workshops to know that those are bad. Your sunflower, your safflower, your canola, your corn, your soybean oil, vegetable oil in general, it's all just trash. Please try not to eat any of that and any added sugar. So what do we teach here?
Heating olive oil is bad also. Heating olive oil?
Heating it over medium heat will oxidize it and cause it to be carcinogenic. Yeah, so I rarely even cook with olive oil anymore. If it's very low heat, I might do it. I usually just use avocado oil and coconut oil, depending if I want something sweet. So, yeah, very good. So the Max Living Core Plan is what we recommend everybody be on at a minimum. It's not hard to do. It's basically making sure that you're eating whole grain carbohydrates if you're going to do it, more vegetables, healthy fats like the coconut, the olive oil, and the avocado oil, and your meats need to be healthy. So what does that mean? If you're eating beef, it needs to be from grass-fed cows, 100%. Make sure that's the truth. Organic chicken and wild-caught fish. That's always the first thing I tell people to change. If you're going to make that investment in better food, change your meats first, because you are what your food ate. So if your food ate really bad food, you're going to get the same thing from them. Okay? But
I went with you to some
shopping.
Different places.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of label reading.
Yep.
Now with the allergy that Mike has,
Yep.
I'm reading more. I even have an app that helps to highlight things that you can't eat on the Mediterranean diet or other things.
So that's really nice to have those apps that you can just quick pick and it tells you it passes the test, doesn't pass the test. Yep, I like those, but I also want my patients to be educated on it.
Some of them are not good.
Some of them are not good.
No.
Which
Like,
ones?
say the yucca one.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That
that's
one's really big, but that one doesn't go to like the highest standards.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So yucca does not pass Dr. Sidney's sniff test. Okay, that's good.
Fig.
I'm not sure about fig. I just know there's a couple that like when you scan things that I know are not clean and
Yeah.
they say, oh, they're okay. I'm like, no.
No, then you're out. Well, yeah, one mistake and you're done. I don't blame you because it doesn't pass the test.
Well, Fig,
Yeah.
Fig will tell you if you get some, it'll say, always read the label. Don't trust our
Good.
Well, that's good.
evaluation.
And that's what we really want for you guys, and we can take you guys shopping. I want to empower you to be good shoppers so that you can start teaching other people. I mean, I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut when I'm at the store, and people are looking like, should I get Velveeta and cheese? Or I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, but I have done it. If it feels right, I will do it. And I've had some really good conversations with people because I did, and they were so thankful. But there's some people I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah.
I have a friend who had cardiac surgery. You know what the doctor told her to? Yes, he did.
Earth balance and margarine. Yeah.
And I can't believe it's
That's what, butter. That's what cardiologists tell their heart attack patients.
Yeah.
Use margarine because it's not saturated fat. The biggest BS ever. Oh, that makes me want to go punch somebody.
They just told me to, after my stint in heart attack, it was low sodium and low sugar.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God that guy at least knew a little bit.
Yeah.
Good. But people that are having major health issues, we need to take it to the next level. That's our advanced plan. So you start with your core plan. The only difference is in the advanced plans, you're going to eat more fat and you're going to eat no grains, so you're getting rid of all sugar, and all the fruit will be only low sugar fruit like your organic berries, citrus fruit like grapefruit, lemon, limes, and Granny Smith apples. So we're limiting our sugar intake because we're trying to reduce inflammation. So if you're pre-diabetic, type 2, cancer, heart disease, any of those issues that you're dealing with, this is something that you're going to be on for a little while. You can start to come off of it here and there, but you're going to want to stay on that for a while, okay? And my patients that do that, people that need to lose weight also, they'll lose weight pretty quickly doing it this way. And it's a healthy way of doing it, okay? And you can still eat a lot of the food you want to eat. But what are some immune-boosting nutrients? If I say, I'm not feeling well today, I want to boost my immune system, what should I do? I just told you what not to do. What should we do? How about things like vitamin D? We talked about the flu season, right? Lack of vitamin D. What should your vitamin D levels be? I would want mine at least 60. Okay, so every lab's a little bit different. They usually use this chart here, 20 to 60 is relatively normal. But this chart is so awesome. This shows us if your level is at this, let's say your level is at 20 or below, you're going to get this disease, which is called rickets. Anybody worried about rickets? I didn't think so, no. So I don't care about 20 because I will tell you, if it comes back at 20, your doctor's going to say you're normal. You're normal. It's fine. That's what I say. It's normal because you're at 20. That's the normal range. Right. But if you're here, now you're not going to get, a heart attack. If we just get it up to 60, look at all the diseases. I know it's kind of small. Cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, colon cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, type 1 diabetes, fractures, multiple sclerosis, cancer of the kidney, endometrial cancer. So just by getting your vitamin D level up, you reduce your risk of death by these diseases by 23%. How do we do that? I usually take 5,000 IUs a day of vitamin D. Now, if you're already on our foundational 3, which I recommend everybody be on, you're already getting the 5,000 in that. If you're not on that, you want just a separate vitamin D, we do have a vitamin D. It's got your 5,000 in one capsule. I like taking it through my foundational 3, and I'll tell you why in here in a minute. What about vitamin C? You've all been told vitamin C is good for your immune system, right? Because it's an antioxidant. And antioxidants will actually protect your cells from damage. So it actually helps prevent damage and chronic inflammation. But what else does it do? It helps encourage the production of white blood cells. And white blood cells are your immune system. Right. Now, how should we do this? Should we just go ahead and drink a big glass of orange juice? Please, no. Do you know what sugar is in a glass of orange juice? It's all sugar.
Straight in your bloodstream.
Straight in your bloodstream, yes. So when God created oranges, he put a lot of fiber in those oranges. So would you eat 10 oranges at one sitting? She's got problems. Yes. You couldn't fit 10 oranges in your belly because of the amount of fiber in there. And the fiber counteracts the sugar, slows down the digestion, slows down the absorption of the sugar. So you eat maybe 1 or 2. If you eat more than that, you're probably going to be in the bathroom anyway. But if we got rid of all the fiber and just juiced it, now we can have the amount of sugar of 10 oranges in 1 glass of juice. Never was that. Our body's not designed to metabolize that much sugar at one time. So we got to start looking at all these juices there next door. They sound great. They sound cool. They're just sugar. You want to be diabetic? Sodas and juices. Cut those out and watch what happens.
If you get the unsweetened or the produced naturally, it doesn't taste good to you.
No, it doesn't. I've had juices before, and I've made them myself, and I've made some that I'm drinking. As I'm drinking, just said, it's good for me, it's good for me, it's good for me. It's really bad. It's good for me, though. It's good for me, but I got to finish it because I made it, and I know it's going to be good for me, but it was... Anytime we put a beet in my juice, it tastes like dirt. Zinc. Where do we get zinc? Out of the dirt. Nuts and seeds and legumes and beans. Sound like a song. Grass-fed beef and dark leafy green vegetables. They got zinc. And what is zinc going to do for you? I saw a study that said proper high-quality zinc has been shown to help reduce the duration of a sickness by 33%. I'll take that. Instead of 3 days, 2 days? Sure. The unfortunate thing is our soil has been so depleted of its nutrients and minerals that our food doesn't have the nutrition that it did once 20, 50, 100 years ago, which is, again, why I supplement with foundational stuff. I'm going to go into this here in a second. What else? What's my favorite supplement? Do you guys know? I've told you, I probably told all you guys, when I travel, there's two things I bring with me every time. Now that the foundational 3 is here, I bring the foundational 3 with me also. But what are the other 2 supplements I bring with me every single time I go anywhere? NAC. And the next one I'll show you in a second. But NAC, N-acetylcysteine. If you don't have that, please get it. This is one of the most powerful supplements I have in my office. This is the stuff that they tried to take off the market during COVID. Why? Because it was preventing people from getting it and helping people heal faster. They're still trying to make it a prescription because they're tired of people getting better. I know. This is why I keep cases of it behind my counter, because if that ever does happen, I need some. Okay, because it is that powerful. What it does, it actually helps detoxification of the liver. It actually helps produce glutathione. Do you guys know what glutathione is? That is your master antioxidant in your body. It is number 1. So what does an antioxidant do? An antioxidant will help reduce oxidative stress, which causes cancer and damage to your cells. And just so you guys know, I have all this written down for you on the back of your note sheet. You might need reading glasses to see it. They are kind of small, but it is all there. Okay? So I take NAC to make sure my liver is functioning properly. It will boost your immune system. But if I read this to you, which I'm going to do, reduces thyroid antibodies, supports your liver function, clears out heavy metals, promotes intestinal health, good for your immune system, eliminates pathogenic bacteria, which is the bad bacteria in your immune system, helps asthma-related symptoms, enhances bone formation, prevents free radical damage, reduces oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, and helps you get mucus out of your lungs.
So how often should you take that every day?
Yes or no? She said, should you take it every day? In a perfect world, I would take 1 of those capsules every single day. The way I do it is I take 1 a day, probably 3 to 5 times a week. Because you're going to get some of that in my foundational 3 anyway. So I'm taking 3 to 5 of those a week. Now, if I have patients come in, coughing all over me, wiping their nose and shaking my hand, and they're snotty or whatever's going on, I want a little extra immune boost. I'm now going to take 3 of them a day. And fist to fish bumps, yes. Very good, very good. So I'm going to do 3. That's funny. I'm going to take 3 a day for a few days. Now, the second I feel something happening in my body is not sick. What's it doing? It's expressing symptoms. And if you're very sensitive and know it's doing the right thing at the right time, but I don't want this going any further, I'm taking 5. Okay, I'm taking 5 a day. And guess what? It works. Every time. Yes, it is awesome. Now, what's the other thing I take with me, especially on airplane rides? My silver spray. Do you guys know about colloidal silver? Yes. Some of you, yes. Anybody not know about colloidal silver? Kaya, no. Daniel, so colloidal silver was what all the doctors used to use as an antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral before medication came around. And when the pharmaceutical companies came around and medical schools were invented, they said, well, we can't patent that. We can't make any money on it. So they took it out of all the books, and now it's only medication. So colloidal silver is silver and water. That is it. And it's a tiny, tiny, tiny amount, but it's very, very bioactive. Now, no, you're not going to turn blue. I've heard all the stories. Okay, you could drink the whole bottle, but I would not do that. Okay, but silver is, like I said, it kills bacteria, viruses, and fungus. So you could take it in your mouth, teaspoon, half teaspoon a day. You can gargle with it if you have a sore throat. But you can put it in your ears for ear infections. But I use it in the nasal passages. I do it before I get on an airplane. I do it when I get off the airplane because that is an incubator. And listen, again, I'm not worried about germs because I've been on thousands of planes and never had to worry about it. But you know what? That guy next to me, he's sweating everywhere and he's coughing all over me. I'm going to get a little insurance. I will also tell you, the second I feel anything happening in my sinuses, allergy-wise, little pressure, I'm on that. 5 per side, a couple times a day. And the earlier you catch that and hit that with this, it doesn't become a thing. So
you recommend that particular?
This brand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you sell it?
I do have it here.
How wonderful.
How wonderful. And just so you know, Susie, I never recommend anything I don't have, and I never sell anything that I don't use. Okay?
Is in them?
Oh, that's erythromycin. I'm not sure they put silver in the eyes.
I think they used to put.
They may have. Well, you're going to have to look that one up and tell me.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what about our stress levels? We were talking about chaos earlier, the chaos of the world, right? If we stress less, we'll heal more. That is true. How do we do this? Faith that our body can heal. Living by those principles that you wrote down. Breath work, mindset shifts. Your mindset will actually shift your biology. I wrote down a couple of things that were interesting. Stress lowers lymphocyte activity and secretory IgA. These are medical things documents that I was reading. That means stress lowers your immune system. Gratitude boosts natural killer cell activity, which is your immune system. Gratitude, being grateful for what you have, being grateful for where you are. It's a happier place to come from. When's the last time you just sat and just looked and said, I am so grateful for all the things I have, all of my relationships? Because I can tell you right now, most people do not do that. They go, I hate this guy, I don't like this guy pissed me off today, that guy's a jerk, and I don't have this, and I don't need this, and I want that. That's not coming from a place of being grateful. If you're coming from a place of gratitude, you already have everything you need. And that's a good feeling to have. Prayer reduces inflammation markers like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6. Who knew? People say prayer doesn't work. Yeah, those people are usually not grateful either. Yeah. So, stress less, heal more. How about 5 minutes of gratitude journaling? I'm not a journaler. I've learned that. I've tried. Doesn't work. I am a thinker, and I will think about it, and I can be grateful without writing things down. It doesn't work for everybody. My daughter, she'll write everything. She's the best writer I've ever met. At 14, she'll write you the nicest letter you've ever read, and she's so grateful. But she can express it through her words. I'm not as good at that, but I can do it different ways. Box breathing. You guys know what box breathing is? You guys ever done that before? Anybody not know what that is? Box breathing. You inhale for 4 seconds. You hold it for 4 seconds. You breathe it out for 4 seconds. You hold it out 4 seconds. And you do it again. I've heard 4 seconds. I've heard 10 seconds. I like 10 seconds because I feel like it does more for the nervous system. But you can do this anytime you're feeling anxious, chaos, I need a break or I'm going to kill somebody. Box breathe. 10 seconds in. Hold for 10 seconds. Breathe it out. The breathing out for 10 seconds is probably the hardest part. Letting it all go. And that really just calms things down.
Breathe in your nose, hold it, breathe out your mouth.
That's a good thing to do too. I would probably do that. Breathe in through the nose and then breathe out while you're, that's how I would do that. What about movement? We need to move more, right? We can't be sedentary. Unfortunately, we are a sedentary lifestyle. We have a sedentary lifestyle. I mean, basically all the technology is hoping that we just sit on our phones all day and never leave our house and buy stuff. That's what they want us to do, right? They just want us to consume. You guys seen the movie WALL-E? We're getting closer and closer. We're getting closer and closer. So we need to prevent that from happening and move more, because when you do move, your lymph system actually moves. Do you guys know what your lymph system is about? Your lymphatic drainage? It's basically your septic. It's your sewer system. And it moves all the bad stuff, all the stuff that you want to get rid of into your colon, into your liver, and then out. Okay? Moderate intensity will actually boost your immune system. This is why we do the Max T3. Have you guys been on the Max T3 website yet? Yes, some of them. So if you have not, I want you to write this down on your notes. maxt3.com. It's somewhere deep in your texts. We've texted this to you probably a couple times. But I highly suggest going to maxt3.com, create your account. It's free for my patients right now. They will be starting to charge sometime soon. And it's a lifetime membership. And you get access to all the workouts. And the workouts are between 10 and 16 minutes. We work out 36 minutes a week because I don't want to work out any more than that, but I am sore from yesterday's workout. Okay? Why do we do this? Not to get big and strong or look good. It's to get oxygen to our cells, to move the drainage through our body so our body can heal and do what it needs to do. Because if you're not moving, you're not exercising, that is a source of interference leading to damaged immune systems. So walk, train, move your body, do the Max T3, bounce, that's fine. You can get on a little trampoline. My wife and my daughter do that all the time. They go in the backyard and jump up and down on it. Awesome for your immune system. And breathe deeply during that movement. Because when you're getting out of breath, that is a good sign. That's beta oxidation. That's burning fat. You want to get out of breath. If you just go for walks and that's all you do, good. I'm not going to tell you to stop. I want you to challenge yourself and get that heart rate up. I want you to get out of breath. Because if you never challenge your body, you're never going to grow. And we need to clear out the junk. Again, this is that sewage system we were talking about. Toxins are going to block your immune efficiency. Drainage organs must be supported, and this is something I've never seen before, a drainage funnel. So everything starts in our cells, right? All we are 70 trillion cells, and all those cells will have waste. That waste will then go into your organs because that's where those cells lie, and into the tissue, which will then be soaked up into the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system will go to the liver, and bile ducts will dump it back into the colon where you will eliminate it from your body. We need to make sure that all of those things are being supported. How are we supporting our cells? How are we supporting our organs and our tissue? How are we supporting our lymphatic system, our liver, our colon? So we need to make sure we're doing good things for these. So drinking half your body weight in ounces every day would be a great thing to do. Keep things moving along, okay? Poop daily or multiple times a day like you're really supposed to. I have too many patients that I say, how often do you poop? And they give me one of those, Jonathan, you're like every day? Mm-mm. Every 2 days? Mm-mm. Every three days? Yeah. So think about it. If you're eating 2-3 meals a day and nothing's coming out, where is that? Where is it? It's still in my body. Well, guess what? When you're eating meat and it's sitting in there with bacteria, it's fermenting. Yeah, and then things come out, they don't smell so good. You know why? Because it's been in there too long, and those are toxins, and those toxins are up against the walls of our colon. Now we have toxic things going into our bloodstream, and now our immune system is being activated again, and it's always on high alert because you can't poop. I'm not going to teach you how to poop more, okay? But eating more food that has good fiber in it, getting adjusted, staying hydrated, those are all things that are going to help support the colon. Probiotics. Are you doing our digestion detox? These are all things that are going to help those things heal. So I've been talking about this throughout tonight. We're getting close to the end, but I'm going to go through these quickly with you because some of you have heard this before. Some of this is new for you. I want to go through the foundational 3 and why I like it so much. I'm not going to go in. If you guys came to the makeover, I spent 45 minutes on it because it was all brand new. I went into depth of each single thing. I'm not doing that here tonight. Everybody feel better? Hope. Just a couple minutes. I want to give you the highlights of these and why I take them. First of all, the biggest, most important thing that these offer, if you have ever taken supplements before, there's a lot of things in them. And the reason why these companies pick these things is because they read a study somewhere. They say if you take vitamin D, your immune system is going to boost 35%, whatever it is. So they go, that's good, so let's put some vitamin D in there. But the study showed 5,000 IUs, and they put 500 IUs. But they thought they were going to get the same results as 5,000? No. So you get like a little bit of everything, and nothing actually works. Within these 3, you're getting 20 clinically studied ingredients at their clinically studied dosages. So when you read the studies of what they do, they're actually going to do that in your body. No other supplements out there do that, which is one of my favorite things about these. So let's go through them. There's 3 of these. One is inflammation and immune. We talked about immune system here a lot. The problem is that chronic inflammation will lead to joint pain, fatigue, sluggish immune response. What this has is 6 clinically studied ingredients. And one of those, so you have your vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K2. So you're getting 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. Eggshell membrane collagen. This is the only supplement on the market that has that in that. It's actually 10 different types of collagen, and it actually will repair your joints. It's got boswellia, which also will help reduce inflammation in your joints. So this is like getting joint health, like a glucosamine, but even better. And then they have fermented turmeric and grass-fed spleen and thymus for immune modulation. This is not out there anywhere else. These are all coming from Jordan Rubin's farm in Arkansas. Or is it Missouri? It's Missouri. These are from his grass-fed cows. So these are from healthy sources that you're getting these.
Dr. Moss, can you suggest
I have a slide for this. I got one for you. Yes. Yeah. We talked about at our seminar, pure energy. We talked about our cells making good energy versus making bad energy. And one of the things we really want to focus on our cells being healthy and making good energy, because if they make bad energy, it leads to chronic inflammation, all the problems that cause all the issues and cancers and heart diseases. So this one here, cellular health. If you're tired, you have hormonal dysfunction, imbalances, poor metabolism, or signs that your cells are just burning out, cellular health and longevity is where we want to go. There are 9 ingredients in here that have been studied to help your mitochondria. Do you guys know what your mitochondria are in your cells? They produce energy. These are going to help you produce more energy. Number 1 in there, my favorite one, is called PQQ. You guys have heard of CoQ10 before. This is its big brother. CoQ10 is like a shovel moving dirt. PQQ is like a bulldozer moving dirt. That's how powerful it is. Okay? This is going to help create more energy in your mitochondria. Melon extract, which will help actually keep you from aging. This is, what was it? It was a French melon that they cut open, and it stayed great for like 3 weeks. They're like, how did that happen? It's an antioxidant inside the melon that does that. So you're getting that. You're also getting your B vitamins for mitochondrial energy. So you're going to have all your B vitamins, including B12. Ashwagandha on there, which is going to help with stress levels. Yeah, it helps you sleep better, while it also gives you energy. But it also helps you with people with anxiety and racing thoughts. Rhodiola rosea for rhodiola rosea for stress and adrenal support. Then you have fermented plants like the mango plant, and I think it's the raspberry plant. I think that's what it was. That, again, more support for your cells, because again, this is all about antioxidants, protecting your cells and making sure that you can produce the right amount of energy.
I take CoQ10.
You don't need it anymore. Nope. These 3 supplements replace 20 supplements that we had out front. So instead of buying 20 things, you could take these 3 things and know you're getting tons of other good things. Yeah, and again, this is all on the back of here. Again, get your magnifying glass out, and you can read all about it on the back. And the last one here is digest and detox. We talked a lot about our gut and our gut health and as it relates to the immune system. But if you're having poor digestion, poor immune system, things are just not moving well, this is where you want to go. Digest and detox, you have a handful of different probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. So you're getting like, I think it was like 150 billion total in there, but only 24 of them are probiotics. So you already had the activated postbiotics, and then you have the prebiotics, which actually feed all of those. But SB22 or AB22, which is Bacillus subtilis, that is a strain which actually will help block glyphosate uptake in your gut. And glyphosate is Roundup, and if you eat any corn or you eat any wheat products that are not organic, they're going to have glyphosate on there. Glyphosate causes inflammation in the gut lining, opens those channels up that are called your gap junctions, and allow the food to seep back into your bloodstream, causing inflammatory responses. AB22 will block that from happening. That is leaky gut syndrome. Very good, Jonathan. Yes. It also will help break down microplastics in your gut. Pretty cool stuff. This also has bovine liver, kidney, gallbladder for phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification of your liver. Help support that. And there are also 10 digestive enzymes in there as well for absorption of the food that you're eating. So to answer Susie's question, how do we do this? Take one of each in the breakfast, one of each at lunch, one of each at dinner. In a perfect world, that's how you do it. But how do I do it? I have them all next to my toothbrush, and in the morning I go 3 this one, 3 this one, 3 this one, 9, down, done. Because I know that I'm not going to get them down any other way. I could do it later at night, but I'm just going to do it all right now. Yes?
I do the longevity one because it was keeping me up, because I would take it in the afternoon.
Yes.
And you suggested for me to take it
in the morning.
Day. So I take that in the morning with breakfast.
Okay.
And then I take the rest of my supplements at
night.
At lunch.
Okay.
Because I know when I get home I'm going to be tired, and I'm like, I
just want to go to bed.
Just
yep.
want to
be done.
Get it all in and get it.
Yep. So the cellular health and longevity is one that has the B12 in it. So if you notice that you're having a harder time sleeping, maybe take those ones in the morning. Okay, that's the only thing that we were, yeah. So again, the foundational 3, this is awesome. This is what I have all my new patients taking. This is what I take. This is what my family takes. This is what my staff takes. It is the best thing I've ever seen. This is why we take it. If you do want it here tonight, we're giving you guys 10% off anything you want here tonight because you guys are the ones that are here. Okay? All right. Last thing I do want to talk to you about is your nervous system, because the nervous system is what controls and coordinates all the health, all the healing, all the responses and the functions. It's how we adapt to our environment. And misalignments, what are those called? Very good. Subluxations. Subluxations mean a state of less light. If we have a state of less light going to an organ because there's a misalignment called a subluxation, how is that organ going to heal? It's not. It's going to struggle. It's going to fail to adapt. It's going to become diseased, and it's eventually going to fail. Why would we ever let that happen? We only let that happen if we didn't know we were supposed to be getting our spines checked, right? And how many people knew they were supposed to get their spines checked on a regular basis from the day they're born to the day they die before they met us? I didn't know this until I went to chiropractic school. Nobody told me this, because if I knew how important it was for my health, I would have been doing it a long time ago. I think about, I started chiropractic school at age 22. I think about how many times I was sick, how many times I was medicated, vaccinated, miserable, thinking I was going to die, going to the hospital, having biopsies, all these things done, when maybe it was just interference. Gosh darn, that sounds so much simpler than let me do all the big words and all the therapies and all the drugs and all the surgeries. When maybe there was interference in my nervous system. Remove the interference, watch what happens. I will never heal you. You will heal you. You're supposed to be healthy. And if you're not, why aren't you? What's blocking you? Again, mindset shift. And comfort. Yes.
People don't like to change
Discomfort.
their mindset.
They don't. Of course, changing the mindset is the hardest thing you could ever do. Because think about how long we've been ingrained in the medical model. Heck, we were probably all born in a hospital. Why? They've been doing it for thousands of years without the hospital, and all of a sudden it's a medical procedure? Yes. But we were born right into it. It's hard to pull you out of it. I get it. It's hard to go this way when everybody's going this way. But the sun's shining this way.
And people like to think if they have to change, that proves them they've been wrong.
And nobody likes to be wrong.
Nope.
I'm seeing it all right now in the world. Nobody likes to be wrong. And again, if they were wrong, they're not going to say and admit it. But it doesn't matter about that. It's about doing what's right when nobody's watching. Right? Let's go the right way. Which one of these people is sick and which one of them is normal? Yeah, so great curve in the neck, no pressure on the nervous system. This person's healing as close to 100% as this person could be. Oh my God. Their body's shutting down. There's pressure on the nerves. How can that person be healthy? Here's my funny question for you is, which one of these patients came into my office and said, I need nutritional advice? They came in asking for nutritional advice. Yeah. Because it's got to be I got to eat better because I feel like crap all the time and I'm always sick. It's like, dude, can you even look up? No. This is why we don't start with nutrition in my office. We have to get your power on. Then we can start talking about nutrition. Nutrition is very important. We talked about all those things here tonight. Did you guys know how important it is to your immune system getting adjusted? This was a study done. It was here in Atlanta. Research on HIV patients. They showed that the patients, these are AIDS patients that were receiving chiropractic care showed a 48% increase in CD4 immune system white blood cells compared to those who did not receive the care. Proof. You get adjusted, you boost your immune system, which is why when you call or text, I don't feel good, because you're not going to say I'm sick, right? I'm expressing symptoms. I don't feel like it today. What are we going to tell you? Get your butt in here. Get your butt in here. Let's get you adjusted and get you home. Get somebody else to drive you. Listen, I get it if it's coming out both ends at the same time. I get it, okay? Don't bring that in here, because she's going to have to clean it up. Yeah, but get your butt in here as soon as possible so we can adjust you, turn your power on, and go back. Go home, and you're going to heal up. And take your NAC, do all the things we've been talking about, right? Yes, yes. There was a study done, Ron Perro, PhD, chief of cancer chief of New York's Preventative Medicine Institute. This is in the 70s. He took and he actually looked at the immune system of people that were getting adjusted regularly. And he saw that their immune system was 200% more competent than the people who were not getting adjusted, and 400% stronger than the people who were already sick. Again, when you don't feel well, you are expressing symptoms. Your body wants to fight, and that's what it's doing. All we got to think about is, how can I help you? How can I help you fight better? Let's take the NAC. Let's do the vitamin C. Let's do some vitamin D. Let's get adjusted. Let's make sure we move a little bit. Let's get some rest. That's what I do. Shouldn't be that difficult, right?
Just in the 2 years I've been here, it's been, oh yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
It's noticeable.
Definitely
Yeah.
noticeable.
And I had a couple patients, actually a handful of patients this year move away. And this last couple that moved, they gave me big hugs. And I want to say, Mom, the wife was on board the whole time. The dad was a little bit skeptical, but he gave me a hug and said, my life will never be the same because you've taught me so much. And that's all I could ever do for you guys, is give you the power that you need to be able to make those decisions and change the way you think. Because if you don't change the way you think, you're going to be right back where you started. We have to unplug from what doesn't work and plug into what does. So how many people do you know that are out there right now that are sick and suffering? They could have headaches and neck pain, back pain, sciatic pain, numbing and tingling. Those are all chiropractic issues that most people think of. What if they're sick all the time? What if they can't move their bowels? What if the child is getting ear infections? Vertigo, dizziness. We could go on and on and on. What if they've been to every doctor and nobody has a clue what's going on? Those are my favorite patients. The patients that have given up because their doctor said, there's nothing else that can be done. That's BS. What they mean when they say that is, I don't have any more medication I can give you, so we've given you all the things I can give you. Not, there's nothing else that can be done. A good doctor would say, there's nothing else I can do, but let me help you find somebody else that can look at it from a different point of view. But how many people do we know that we love that have never even had their spine checked? When would you want to know that there was pressure on a nerve building disease in an organ of somebody you loved? When would you want to know that? As soon as possible. Yesterday, 2 years ago, when you started care, whenever it was. Why would we leave those people that we love at home? Why would we not tell the people that we work with that their life could be better? That they need to live a different lifestyle. Now, I'm not one to go and give people advice that's unsolicited, because you don't want to be that person. But at the same point, sometimes you need to step out of your comfort zone and step up and say something, because nobody else will. And when you do that, they will love you for that, and they will thank you for the rest of their lives, because everybody gets healthier when they take care of their spine and nervous system. So what do we need to do for keeping our nervous system functioning properly? Get assessed for subluxations. Stay on a care plan that's not about pain, right? It's not about how we feel. It's about how is our body healing. When would you ever stop chiropractic care? When you stopped caring. Yeah. Keep your nervous system clear and free of interference. So here's our checklist of things we learned here tonight. Mindset, that's stress less, more gratitude, more peace. Nutrition, let's eat to activate our immune system and not diminish it. Movement, let's circulate, let's activate, let's work out. Max T3, let's go for walks. Detox, we got to drain the swamp. We need to make sure that we are letting everything out of our body. We are moving our bowels. We are taking NAC to get the liver to detoxify our body, staying hydrated, and of course, we need to make sure our command center, our nervous system, is restored properly. Does anybody have any questions? But guys, thank you all so much for coming. I hope you learned a lot. Hope you got motivated to make some changes and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome.